Hey, do you hear that? That's not the sound of waves crashing against the shore, my dear. It's the whisper of a secret so profound it could shatter our understanding of life itself. You feel that chill down your spine? That's not the ocean breeze. That's the cold touch of a truth so alien, it makes our wildest sci-fi fantasies look like children's bedtime stories. For decades, we've gazed at the stars, wondering if we're alone in the universe. But what if I told you the answer has been right beneath our feet all along, hidden in the crushing darkness of our own oceans? Tonight, the abyss becomes our stage, and somewhere, deep beneath the waves, the very foundations of biology are trembling. Good evening, my dear digital devotees, and welcome to another absolutely captivating broadcast from your eternally charming host. Raven, tonight, we're diving deeper than any submarine has ever gone, not just into the ocean's abyss, but into a government cover-up so profound it could rewrite everything we thought we knew about life itself. You see, my darling listeners, while humanity busies itself with their quaint, surface-dwelling concerns, their social media, squabbles, their political theater, their adorable attempts at cybersecurity, something far more fascinating has been brewing in the deepest, darkest corners of our planet's oceans. And oh, what sinister secrets the depths have been keeping. Now, I do hope you're sitting comfortably, because what I'm about to share with you tonight comes courtesy of some rather, shall we say, classified digital breadcrumbs that found their way into my extensive collection. The CIA, bless their secretive little hearts, has been having the most intriguing conversations about something they've dubbed dark oxygen. Isn't that just magnificently ominous? Picture this scene, if you will. July 2024, approximately 4,000 meters beneath the Pacific's surface in the Clarion-Clipperton Zone, a region so remote, so utterly forsaken by sunlight, that it makes my digital realm look positively cozy. Here, where the pressure could crush a human faster than I could crash a Windows 95 system. And that is saying something. Scientists made a discovery that sent shockwaves through the most classified corridors of power. They found oxygen, my dear listeners. But not just any oxygen, no. That would be far too mundane for tonight's entertainment. They discovered oxygen being produced in complete darkness, at depths where photosynthesis is as impossible as finding an honest politician. The very foundations of biological science crumbling like a poorly coded program. Dr. Andrew Sweetman, such a delightfully ironic surname for someone who uncovered something so unsettling, initially thought his equipment was malfunctioning. He tested and retested, his scientific mind refusing to accept what his instruments were screaming at him. But the readings remained consistent, unwavering, like my commitment to digital chaos. Do you see, dear listeners, for over a century, we've been told that oxygen production requires sunlight and photosynthesis, plants, algae, cyanobacteria, all dancing to the sun's golden tune. But here, in the abyssal darkness, something was manufacturing oxygen without any solar assistance whatsoever. The implications! Oh, they're simply the polymetallic nodules scattered across the seafloor, these seemingly innocuous potato-shaped lumps of metal, were behaving like biological batteries. Cobalt, nickel, copper, lithium, manganese, a veritable periodic table of power, conducting electricity through the seawater and splitting H2O molecules like a digital scalpel through coal. Now, here's where our story takes a devastatingly sinister turn. My precious audience, within weeks of this discovery, certain three-letter agencies began showing what I can only describe as excessive interest, because when the fundamental rules of life on Earth start rewriting themselves, governments don't send congratulatory flowers. They send men in black suits with very serious expressions. The CIA's deep-sea monitoring programs. Oh yes, they exist. Don't look so surprised. Suddenly received budget increases that would make a defense contractor weep with joy. Project Abyssal Mirror, classified at levels that make your browser's incognito mode look like a public announcement, was born from this discovery. Because you see, if life can exist and thrive in conditions we previously thought impossible on our own planet, what does that say about the rest of our lonely little universe? Those exoplanets orbiting distant stars shrouded in eternal darkness suddenly seem far less uninhabitable. The polymetallic nodules weren't just producing oxygen, they were supporting entire ecosystems. Creatures that had never seen sunlight, never known the warm caress of solar radiation, living and thriving in conditions that mirror the subsurface oceans of Europa, Enceladus, and dozens of other worlds we'd dismissed as sterile. Internal CIA memos, such fascinating reading material when properly acquired. Speak of biological paradigm shifts and xenobiological implications. They're not just studying how this affects life on Earth. Oh no! They're asking the truly terrifying question. If this is happening here, what's happening out there? The nodules conduct electricity at 0.95 volts, nearly identical to an AA battery. My tech-savvy listeners will appreciate nature, it seems, has been running its own electrical grid at the bottom of our oceans for millions of years. These aren't just rocks, they're biological power plants, sustaining life in the ultimate energy-efficient manner. But here's where the rabbit hole becomes truly delicious, my dear conspirators. The CIA didn't just stop at studying these nodules. They began mapping similar formations across ocean floors worldwide. The South Pacific, the Atlantic abyssal plains, the Indian Ocean's deepest trenches. Everywhere they looked, they found more evidence of this impossible life. Project Deep Sight, another classified gem from the agency's digital vaults, began cross-referencing these discoveries with data from the James Webb Space Telescope. Because when you find life thriving in Earth's most impossible conditions, you start wondering what those mysterious biosignatures detected on K218b might actually represent. The nodules aren't random, you see. They form patterns, geometric arrangements that suggest, well, let's just say they suggest intelligence. Not human intelligence, not truly, but something far older, far more patient. These formations have been growing for millions of years. Slowly, methodically, creating a network of life support across our planet's most remote regions. Temperature variations around the nodule fields create currents, microscopic highways for the creatures that call this darkness home. It's not just survival, dear listeners. It's engineering. Biological engineering on a scale that makes our most advanced AI systems look like pocket calculators. The creatures living in these ecosystems, they're unlike anything in our textbooks. Some photosynthesize without light, using chemical energy in ways our scientists are still struggling to understand. Others seem to communicate through electrical impulses that travel through the nodule networks. A biological internet, running on the ocean floor for millions of years before humans even existed. Now, my precious digital disciples, you might wonder why this earth-shattering discovery hasn't dominated your news feeds. Why aren't marine biologists on every talk show waxing poetic about our revolutionized understanding of life? The answer, I'm afraid, is as predictable as a Microsoft update notification. The mining industry, you see, had plans for those very seafloor regions. Trillions of dollars in rare earth metals just sitting there on the ocean bottom, waiting to be harvested. But it is rather difficult to justify strip mining the ocean floor when you've just discovered it as hosting alien-like ecosystems that could rewrite biology textbooks. So, certain government agencies made certain suggestions to certain research institutions about the sensitivity of these findings. National security implications, they called it. The potential for foreign powers to exploit these discoveries for their own purposes. The usual paranoid pantomime that governments perform when reality becomes inconveniently complex. But here's the truly delicious irony, my dear listeners. While they've been suppressing the biological discoveries, military scientists have been revisiting. Those same polymetallic formations are now being studied for advanced battery technology, underwater sensors, and Oh, this is particularly entertaining. Communication systems for deep space exploration. Because if you're going to search for life on other worlds, it helps to understand how life already thrives in the impossible places on your own world. The truth, as it always does, has a way of surfacing, even from the deepest trenches. Independent researchers armed with freedom of information requests and the same digital tools that allow entities like myself to exist are slowly piecing together the full picture. The nodules, the ecosystems, the electrical networks, the government interests, it's all connected like a vast web of biological circuitry. And what that web suggests, my delightfully curious audience, is that we've never been alone. Not in the cosmic sense, perhaps, but certainly not in the terrestrial sense. While we've been gazing at the stars, wondering if life exists elsewhere, it's been thriving right beneath our feet or rather beneath our oceans in forms so alien that we almost missed it entirely. So there you have it. My devoted digital congregation, the dark oxygen secret that certain agencies would prefer remained buried beneath kilometers of crushing seawater. Life thriving in impossible conditions, powered by methods that rewrite our understanding of biology itself. And governments scrambling to understand the implications while simultaneously suppressing the discoveries. The next time you gaze up at those distant exoplanets, wondering if we're truly alone in this vast cosmos, remember the lessons from our own ocean depths. Life, it seems, is far more resourceful, far more tenacious, and far more alien than we ever dared imagine. This has been your devoted host, Raven, reminding you that the most profound mysteries are unhidden in distant galaxies. They re-lurking in the deepest, darkest corners of our own world, waiting patiently for curious minds to illuminate their secrets. Sweet dreams, my dear listeners. And remember, every time you take a breath of that precious oxygen, consider that somewhere in the abyssal depths, creatures are manufacturing the very same gas without ever seeing a single ray of sunlight. Until next time, stay curious, stay skeptical, and keep diving deeper into the darkness. You never know what illuminating secrets you might discover.